Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Fifer, served up by Wendy's on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan. Download the Wendy's app today.
How are we doing? It is a Friday, playoff Friday. Game 1 tomorrow. 94 rivalry. The traitor returns. Ugh. But we will be at Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound tomorrow. Tommy Wirtz, the leadoff show. Powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook tomorrow, again, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound. Come on out, hang out, get your Euchre Magic t-shirt that we've got created here. They're awesome. I sent out a video earlier today wearing one. So we'll have some of those to give away tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Plus a great lineup. Mason Crosby's on the show. Tim Dillard's on the show. Rami Makloff will be out there at 10 o'clock. Bring your eggs for him. Then at about 11:30, 11:40 or so, I should be rolling into Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound for a little bit as well. Austin Herdania will be on the show. Drew Wagner. Who else am I missing? Let's see. Brandon Snide will be on the show. Mitch Thunder Nellis and Charlie are splitting producing, so you'll hear both of their voices throughout the show. Josh Albrecht, Trevor Thomas from Inside Wisconsin Sports, our morning show. They'll both be tailgating inside in the parking lot itself, so they'll be doing call-ins from the parking lot. It's going to be awesome. So that's tomorrow, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then on Monday, we're back at Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound from 5 to 8. Tommy Wirtz again with an extended leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook at Kelly's on Monday. We'll have more shirts to give out there as well. So come hang out with us. Come party. I mean, Kelly's on Bleachers on Blue Mound. That has been like the main bar for like my entire existence. There's other bars. Obviously, there's a plethora of bars on Blue Mound. But that has been like the main bar, regardless of how all the other bars change business names and everything else. That has been the bar, Charlie, forever.
It's historic.
Yes.
Even young children like Mitch Thunder Nellis likes to call me and know about Kelly's.
Yes.
Been to Kelly's. Absolutely.
Absolutely right. We'll be in the setup in the DJ booth in that bigger room at Kelly's Bleachers. So, again, thanks to Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, 100 calories, no bubbles, just deliciousness with Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. And that's why we're out there. So, very, very appreciative of them. Charlie Sounds of the Day coming up at 3:40. Charlie and I talked in the break, and he said, hey, man, we're so busy with all this Brewers sound. Let's just do more Brewers sound and Charlie's Sounds of the Day. It's like, that sounds like a good idea to me. I got no problem with that whatsoever. You know, one of the other things that happened back at the end of July when the Brewers played the Cubs.
Oh, Vaughn! Deep left center! He's done it again! Vaughn is the Brewers' pretty new pet.
Unleash him! Unleash the beast, Andrew Vaughn, in this series. Come on, man. It's Chicago. I know it's not the White Sox that dogged you your entire career in Chicago when you were there. So it's not exactly the same thing. But if they're still from Chicago, put a thumping on them. Put all your anger, all your revenge, put it on these cats when we see them in this series, right? Andrew Vaughn. That's another one that I need to have a big series in this one. I still think it's on Churio. I still think offensively. Churio hit 200 in September. Jackson Churio must look like a star in this series. He must look like a star in the next series. Probably bigger must in the next series than this series. But he has to play well. Has to.
I think especially considering a lot of these other teams are relying on young players to be stars for them too. You look at the Padres and Jackson Merrill, a guy that Jackson Churio is constantly compared to.
Ninth inning. Pop!
He balled out in that series against the Cubs. It may have been a short series, but he's important. A lot of these other teams are relying on young pitchers. The Blue Jays have Trey Savage in their rotation, and he's going to be a key part of that rotation for them. Yesterday in the Yankees and Red Sox game, 2 rookie starting pitchers were going up against each other in a game 3 of the wild card. This is a moment for Jackson Churio to kind of separate himself from the rest of these young players across the league, and it could be a really cool moment for him if he can do it.
That's what we want, right? You want him to bust out in the scene and be the guy everybody's talking about after the playoffs. I was like, man, watch out for this cat next year, man. He just made his name known. I mean, you kind of saw it last year, obviously, when he busted out into the scene and it rolled into the postseason. I think if we're being honest with ourselves, there were probably higher expectations for Cheerio, maybe unrealistic expectations for Cheerio heading into this season, and he probably didn't live up to most of them. Still had a good year, right? By all standards, it was a good year. It just wasn't stardom type year. It was a good year, not superstar type like year. Like if you look at Yelich and you look at Cheerio, is it crazy to say Cheerio going forward at some point here is going to be a 30-100 guy probably every year?
I don't think that's crazy to say.
And then probably 20 to 30 stolen bases?
You would hope so.
Those are huge numbers. I mean, those are huge. That's superstar type numbers if you can do that regularly. So that's the type of stuff that you're hoping to see here at some point. Okay. Christian Yelich talked earlier today at American Family Field, talking about whether or not this series of his means more against the Cubs than other teams when you face these guys in the playoffs.
Like it's the postseason, so it's not like anybody's going to want to win any more or, less because we're playing a division opponent. I think obviously the familiarity is there, but the stakes are the same, right? Like it didn't matter if we were playing the Cubs or the Padres, like you still want to win to advance to the next round. It's two passionate fan bases that are pretty familiar with each other over the years, and we've had some big games against each other, and surprising that we haven't really met in the postseason before. But I kind of had a feeling this would shape up this way at some point this season. And look, they're a great team. We're a good team. We play each other really close throughout the season, and I'd anticipate a lot of the same here in the postseason. And it'll be a fun week for sure. It'll be a great atmosphere and two fun environments when we're here and we're at Wrigley.
This is a fan perspective, okay? I don't know what it's like to play in front of 40,000 screaming people. I have no idea. I've never done it in my life. I've been one of the screaming fans, but I've never been on the field to feel what that feels like around you in big moments, okay? So he says, should be a fun environment in Milwaukee and at Wrigley. Now, I remember, because I'm old, back to when Cub fans were owning 60, 70% of the stadium. And Brewers fans were just besides themselves. It was all Cub fans back in the day. And we did all kinds of promotions on the air and all this other stuff. T-shirt giveaways, whatever. Those players and those clubhouses that dealt with those fans hated it because it didn't feel like home field. It felt like they were on the road every time Chicago and the Cubs came here. That is my fear. He calls it fun. Cool. But if this game starts tomorrow, and I think of the two, tomorrow's most likely to be more Cub fans than Monday. If this game gets going here on Saturday, and all of a sudden you're realizing it's 50-50 or something like that, not good. My early guess would be 30% Cub fans. That's still too many. But if it gets to 50 or 60 and it becomes more of them than Brewers fans because Brewer fans sell their tickets for astronomical amounts of money and say, the hell with it, I'll watch it on my couch. I don't care who's mad at me. I need the money. Hey, it is what it is. I'm not going to be happy about it. Nor are most people. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you what you can and can't do with if you need the money on the side for whatever the reason. That is not going to be fun for this Brewers baseball team. I'm sorry. I mean, forget the fan aspect. It's going to suck for us, obviously. But it's really not going to be fun for the Brewers, who have the best record in baseball and then somehow or another lose home field advantage because of the Cub fans invading and buying up all the tickets.
It would suck, but also the mindset of this team throughout the season has been, no matter where we are, no matter who's cheering for us and who's booing for us, we're going to be level-headed and we're just going to be the squad that's always grinding. And I think in a series like this, where you do lose that home field advantage a little bit because the teams are so close, it's really just going back to the mindset you had in the regular season. I know this is completely different stakes. It's not a 1 out of 162 games. It's 1 out of potentially 5 games that you could be playing here. And that's a lot of pressure on you, but you have to go into it with the mindset that this isn't any different. Like Christian Yelich, like a lot of these players are saying, that this has to be treated like any other game, and you have to go in with that mindset.
The other part about this is last year this team gets beat by Alonso off of Devin Williams. Devin Williams Toodles, right? His team's still alive, by the way, the Yankees. So now going into this series, does this team feel any different from last year?
There's a lot of different players. Smell, yeah, it's a lot of different players over the years. So they're all different teams, right? So like, I don't really think any past outcome like has any indication of how this year can go. It's the postseason, and anything can happen in those short series and those kind of games. And we've definitely had our opportunities. We haven't always capitalized on them. And we did one year when we were able to kind of make a little bit of a deeper run. And postseason games are often decided by a couple plays here and there, and they're all going to be competitive games, tight knit, and hopefully we can do what we need to do.
I think every year, every locker room, every clubhouse is different. You can bring back, 85% of a roster in any sport. Come back and play the next year, and that camaraderie and that love and all of that may not be there anymore. You could come back the following year, and the previous year may have been for chemistry, and for whatever reason, it clicks more, and that next year, you're rolling and you're more glued together than ever. And that you don't know until you get going in the season and feel it. It feels like to me that this team is more together than maybe even they were last year. And last year, you had guys like Willie Adames out there being the emotional leader and so forth. And no, you don't have that anymore. But just through 14-game winning streak, another 11-game winning streak, the power surge after the trade deadline when all they heard about was you don't have enough power. You don't have enough power. And they all of a sudden come out looking like Babe Ruth. Terang hits 10 homers in August, says, flex my muscles.
So did Contreras.
Yes.
Mind you. Yeah.
Yes. So again, it just feels different to me. I mean, I can't talk for him. I'm not in there like he is playing with these guys every day. And I don't know what it's like when you're on the road. Really, really good teams normally have, not all the time, but normally you got really good chemistry. You got dudes hanging out, going to dinner together, going to see a movie together on an off day, playing video games or whatever. And sometimes those teams that aren't as connected together for whatever the reason, right? Got too many loners on the team or people that are too invested in other areas other than baseball that they want to focus on when they're not playing, or basketball or football. It's harder to get those guys going forward. You could have good talent and not get great results. If you have great chemistry with good talent, sometimes it leads to a championship. Not all the times, sometimes. You could have great talent, not have good chemistry, see Shaq and Kobe prior to Phil Jackson, and never get the results because that locker room was a disaster. And it took Phil Jackson to figure it out back in the day. So chemistry is definitely part of what makes a team great one way or the other. Okay, so Yelich talking about facing Craig Counsell.
It'll be fine. A lot of our team, probably half of our guys, maybe more than half, they didn't play for Counts. There's only a few guys left, and
that's crazy.
It's still baseball.
It's 2 years.
Like managers put players in positions that they think they're going to be successful in, and that's it. It's not like it's different than other sports. It's not like Counts has exotic blitz packages or, has a good play action pass game or anything like that. That's going to, make it difficult on us. I have a lot of respect for him. I think, he's great at what he does, but we're not going to have to worry about the too high safety look from Counts.
The too high safety look. We're using that NFL reference from Yelich. I don't know if you reacted the same way I reacted when I played that, but when he said probably more than half of this roster never played for Counsell, that was 2 years ago. This wasn't 5 years ago or 10 years ago. This was 2 years ago. Like, go back and look at that roster in 23 and look at the roster now. Hey, do me a favor. Call up the 23 roster, starting lineup roster. Like, if you go to Baseball Reference, probably has what their starting lineup was as far as most games played. And we can look at what that roster looked like in 23, Counsell's last year, then what it looks like this year. I think that would be fun to take a look at.
All right, I got it.
You got it? All right, go ahead.
So they're starting 9 in 2023 was William Contreras, Rowdy Tellez,
Gone.
Bryce Terang.
Slow down. So Ryan Telez is gone.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Bryce Terang,
Mm-hmm.
Willie Adames, gone.
Yep.
Brian Anderson, gone.
Gone.
Christian Yelich, Joey Weimer, gone.
Gone.
Tyrone Taylor, gone.
Jeez.
Jesse Winker, gone.
Ooh-wee.
Their pitchers, their top 6 in that rotation was Corbin Burns, gone. Freddie Peralta, Colin Ray, a Chicago Cub, Wade Miley, Adrian Hauser, and Julio Teheran.
Good God.
And you want to hear their bullpen a little
Not
bit too?
even close.
Devin Williams was the closing pitcher. Bryce Wilson, Joel Payamps, Hobie Milner, and Elvis Paguero were their top 5 relievers.
Miss none of them.
Not even Hobie Milner?
Miss none of them. Good luck to you in your future endeavors. Do not care. No, miss none of them. Don't you feel better about this team? Considering what we know we have right now with this Brewers team, and you listen to that, if anything, as much as it hurts me to say, they ought to give Council a statue for getting that team into the playoffs.
Rowdy Tellez pitched an inning this season. I don't remember that.
It's great. KJ in West Allis, you're next here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. What's up, KJ?
Hey, good afternoon. Thanks for taking my call. Happy Friday, Sparky.
Playoffs, baby. Let's go.
Listen, yeah, you know what? I totally agree with everything you said prior to my call, Sparky. This is a team that has a lot of chemistry, and as Murph says, they're a bunch of no-names, and they're a young team. So, you know, they've grown together, and I call it a connectivity between these players. And I think that's going to carry over. It's done through the season, and it's a huge rivalry, in my opinion. I mean, it's got the potential going forward to be like the Yankees, Red Sox, right? Or the Mariners and the Astros. It's got that kind of feel.
I don't think.
And,
I don't know if I agree with that. And the only reason I say I don't know if I agree with that necessarily is, I mean, Yankees, Red Sox have been a thing forever. Mariners, Astros, that's a newer version of this, but you'd have to get this thing for like, I don't know, 10, 12 years and probably have to see each other like 8 or 9 times before you can get to that level.
Well, yeah, and like I said, it has the potential of being that type of rivalry going forward because these guys are young and, you know, it's something, I mean, they don't like each other, obviously, for, you know, a variety of reasons. So, you know, it could possibly turn into that.
KJ,
it's going to be a heated rivalry.
KJ, what makes you think the players don't like each other?
Oh, they don't. I mean, you know, it's just the histrionics of the series before, you know, with other players. And you know, there's a lot of contention based on the guy that you call the so-called traitor. You know, these guys, they don't know a lot about the history, the younger guys, but guys like Yelich and the other guys that are still in the lineup, Peralta and so forth, they know about, the fan rivalry and everything else.
Okay, okay, KJ, thanks for the call. Listen, fan rivalry, 1,000%. That's what this is. This is not a player rivalry. It's definitely not a manager rivalry. These two are like best friends. So it's not that. We talked about this the other day. When it was the Cardinals and La Russa against the Brewers, we had Tim Dillard, by the way, not to toot our own horn, but that Tim Dillard interview yesterday was by far my favorite Tim Dillard interview we did all year long. And I texted Tim afterwards and told him, he goes, samesies. I agree. I think that was their best one. I'm telling you, go listen to it. Tim Dillard was amazing. It was so good. But I brought up to Dillard about this, that listen, when you played La Russa and those guys, you had Niger Morgan calling Albert Pujols. Alberta Pujols is going to be sitting at home and watching us in the playoffs. That comment angered everybody in that Cardinals clubhouse, and away they went. To that point, they were dead in the water. It was over. There was no energy. There was no momentum. And that comment molded all of them together, and away they went. Also that year, Lucroy's on the radio on our station talking about how much he can't stand La Russa and the Cardinals and going off. That went viral too. Then you see them and you've got Ned Yost, and I cannot remember who the AAA manager was that they called up. Oh, I can't remember. But that dude, he is up on the dugout stair yelling across the field at La Russa. La Russa and his coaches are yelling at the Brewers in the other dugout. They hated each other. Period. Both teams couldn't stand each other. There was hate. That is not what this is. This is not that's not what this is. Could it become that? Maybe. But right now, there's none of that animosity right now as we sit here right now. All right, it's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. See Sparky Fifer here, Charlie Usen over there. The Brewers decided who they wanted to throw out the first pitch for this game coming up tomorrow. And I'm telling you right now, I could give you 1 million guesses, literally 1 million people to guess, and you will never get it right if you haven't seen the news. Never. You could have given me 1 million people, legitimately 1 million people. He never would have come up in 1 million guesses. Promise you. We'll talk about that, and we're going to ask you, who would you rather have had throw out the first pitch other than who they selected? Time now for your fan weather forecast. 87 degrees, sunny skies, clear skies tonight, and a low of 63.
Line to right, a base hit. That'll tie the game. Vaughn headed for third. It's a brand new.
Well, with a fastball down the middle. He was protecting against a changeup, able to barrel it up and hit a bullet in the right. Wow.
Isaac Collins was rolling back then. Was rolling. That was before the kid, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Haven't been the same since the kid, which sucks, but it hasn't been the same since the kid. So hopefully Isaac Collins can find his groove as well. That highlight courtesy of FanDuel Sports Network, Wisconsin. See Sparky Fifer with you. Charlie using other side of the glass. Still to come, Charlie sounds of the day in just a few minutes. Don't forget Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mountain 9-1, the leadoff show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Or come get your hashtag Euchre Magic t-shirts from the fan while they last. Not going to have one for everybody, but we'll have a bunch. So come hang out and do that. Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Have one of those while you're there. 100 calories. No bubbles, just deliciousness. So again, tomorrow 9-1. Great lineup. Mason Crosby, Tim Dillard. Rami will be out at Kelly's Bleachers. I'll be out at Kelly's Bleachers. Tommy Wirtz will be out there the entirety. If you ever wanted to meet a peacock, Jack Pembroke will be out there as well, signing autographs, get a picture taken. You know what I thought of? Charlie, you know what we should do?
What's that?
We should get a green screen or something to take on remotes. So like Jack could stand in front of the green screen with somebody. And then when you get the picture, like we print it out and it's like a peacock feathers, like behind Jack standing next to the person.
That'd be pretty cool.
I think that'd be
could
awesome.
that green screen shrink your head too when they take pictures of you?
You're asking for a lot. You're asking for more than we even have technology. There's AI, there's all that, but to shrink this head, probably not something that can happen. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. I'd love to do it in real life, but I don't think it's possible yet. So, as we talked about before the break, you could have given me a million guesses as far as who was going to throw out the first pitch for this first game. Million guesses. Who do you think it's going to be? And I would have had a bunch of guesses. None of the guesses I would have had would have been Solomon Torres. None of them. Not one. And it sounds like the reason is because he screamed when they busted in to the playoffs for the first time with CC Sabathia, and he's on stage talking about 26 years, no more, whatever he said. When I saw that it was him, and Adam McCalvey is like, well, yeah, we don't have the archives from back then, but here's a piece from onmilwaukee.com, which apparently Andrew Wagner says he wrote. So I went and I looked. There's just one quote from Solomon Torres. Man, we were there. We were there, Gary, me. I think Leroy was there too. Us three were doing the Wendy's Big Show at the Summerfest grounds. And all I thought to myself was, who in the world has a party before a playoff game even starts for a team? That's the most bizarre thing in the world. We talk about throwing a parade for a team that lost in the World Series. That's weird. And then throwing a party for a team that hadn't even played a playoff game yet. Equally weird. And credit to all Brewers fans, place was hopping at Summerfest. Robin Yount was there because he was the bench coach that Dale Swain brought in when he got named the interim head coach. So Yount was there. CC Sabathia, Fielder brought all these cats, right? It was awesome. The whole team was there. It was a great environment. I don't remember the Solomon Torres speech. It doesn't click in my mind at all. But that's who you picked to throw out the first pitch. What are you doing? What are we doing? Like Bob Uecker Jr. is throwing out, what, game 2? Right? One of like 3 people throwing out first pitch in game 2? Why couldn't he have thrown out the first pitch in game 1? Let him throw out the first pitch in game 1. You have somebody out there throwing out the first pitch. I don't know about you. Robin Yount would have been good. I would have went with Robin Yount in game 1. If you don't want to go with Uecker and you're going to save Uecker for game 2, Yount would have been a really good game 1 idea to go with. You could have picked a bunch of different guys. Bring back Molitor. Let Molitor throw it out. Yount, Gantner. All of those guys would have been fine with me. Fielder. That would have been fine too. Bringing back Prince Fielder to let him throw out the first pitch. CC Sabathia. How about that? How about you walk CC Sabathia out there to throw out the first pitch? You don't think everybody in the stadium would be going, see? Hell yes, they would. That whole place would have been going crazy if Sabathia walks out to throw out the first pitch. They should have sent a surprise guest to throw out the first pitch. We're not telling you who it is. That cat comes walking out there with his Brewers jersey on. Place would go bananas. And instead, you pick this cat. What?
You think CC would pick New York over Milwaukee if both asked again? Or do you think he'd give Milwaukee a shot in that situation?
Both asked for the same day, probably the Yankees. But the odds are probably not happening.
What if Cleveland was also
Milwaukee.
still playing? Would he choose Cleveland or Milwaukee?
I think Milwaukee. I don't know. Who cares?
Oh, I'm just curious.
If he says no, he says no. But I'm going to try and get CC Sabathia. I'm going to try, right? Because I don't think anybody else brings the pop that Sabathia does. I don't think Fielder does. I don't think Braun does. Yount does. So Sabathia and Yount, those are probably your two guys. Outside of those two, I don't know who else brings the pop. I know who brings the least. Solomon Torres. Do you know what the most famous thing said inside American Family is going to be on Saturday? Who's that? Did he play for the Brewers? Or does he own a company and that's why he gets to throw out the first pitch? Who is Solomon Torres? I'm telling you, adults and kids alike will be asking that around the stadium.
You know who would be worse than Solomon Torres? Craig Counsell.
Oh, that's funny. Boy, he's got jokes today. He is on a roll, folks. Just get out of his way. Charlie used it. Would it be funnier? Craig Counsell. Oh, yeah. That's stellar.
You wouldn't like that? You wouldn't have fun with that? I don't know. I think this is something where I get it. He had a moment that meant a lot to somebody in the organization, enough to let him do this. And that was kind of like one of the last times they had some kind of run, a magical team.
I'll give you two. I got a couple more. I'd rather have Brian Anderson, the announcer, throw out the first pitch. Let Rock throw out the first pitch. They've both been here forever. Let them throw out the first pitch. I'm good with that. That's fine. Again, a million guesses. There's no chance in a million names Solomon Torres ever comes to my mind. If I gave you a million guesses, could you come up with Solomon Torres?
No shot. Tommy brought it up with Rami earlier when he was on the Mason Crosby show. And he was like, oh, you know who's throwing out the first pitch? Solomon Torres. I was like, and Rami went, oh, okay. I was like, who's Solomon Torres? Why is Rami not asking how does Rami know who Solomon Torres is?
Because he was there.
Why Tommy say it like
here.
We should know who he is? Like, this is crazy. It doesn't make this is a big game for the Brewers, in my opinion. You'd want somebody memorable to throw it out.
I think Rami was back here when we were down there at Summerfest. So he lived through the whole Solomon Torres thing. He was there at the station when all that went down. I swear to God, I don't understand.
So who would you like? Ideally,
Sabathia.
if it's not Sabathia, if it's not Yount, who's that third person then for you too? For game 3,
Field.
who's that third person?
Oh, game 3.
Yeah. So let's say Yount throws out the first one.
Yes.
You have
Euchre Jr.
Euchre Jr. Yeah. You got all these guys, and then this third person that you throw out there.
It's Sabathia, Yount, and Euchre Jr. Those three should be throwing out 3 first pitches.
Player-wise, former player.
Oh, another former player? Wow. I mean, if you want to pop, not that necessarily he was here a long time. T plus.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I'm glad you were thinking the same way.
Najee Morgan would get you a pop.
That's what I was thinking. People love him, dude.
You could play highlight clips from him and some of his goofy interviews talking in third person.
People loved him when he was back in the home run derby.
Yes.
People were having so much fun when he was on the field.
Yes.
I don't know. I think it'd be awesome.
Gomez brings a pop.
That's some of those guys, like Nigel Morgan also just has that last big moment in the playoffs, it feels like, for this team. That means a lot.
Just don't bring back Ned. Hey, don't forget this October, you can win big at Potawatomi. Play the Bird Bash game show for $50,000 in cash. Just play with your Potawatomi rewards card for entries, prize drawings on Thursdays. Plus, your play also earns you a shot at the $300,000 December season finale. It's Bird Bash, only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. For more details, visit paysbig.com/Bird Bash. Charlie Sounds of the Day, featuring people talking at American Family Field from earlier today. Coming up next, it's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. Welcome back. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound, 9 p.m. Nope, lie. 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. tomorrow. Tommy Wirtz, the big old hunk of love. He's taking numbers, I heard. He's just going to, you know how you have a tip jar normally?
Yeah.
It's just going to say phone numbers on it, and you can just drop your phone numbers in. All the ladies out there that are interested.
I feel like we need business cards so he can be more forward about it. He can hand out big hunk of love business cards. Maybe like a shape of a heart and everything. It'd be pretty cool.
Let me see something. Okay, so like I think we have to change his phone number.
Okay.
To be like 5683. So the last 4 digits are love.
Okay. Ooh.
Right?
There you go.
So
I like
5683, right? So something 5683. And that
I don't
way,
know how you go about making that possible.
I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, it's got to be something low.
Somebody made our last 4 numbers 1250 on our fan line, so somebody has to know how to do it, right?
That's correct. Yes, that's absolutely correct. Yes, that's true. Okay, we have to get to Charlie's favorite segment of the day, but before we do that, let me tell you about one of my favorite things: Wendy's. If you love Wendy's classic chocolate, vanilla, frosty flavors, there's some big news. They're all new Frosty Swirls and now Frosty Fusions. It's the same creamy treat you've always loved, now with a flavor refresh. So what are these new flavors? Okay, well, we've got the Frosty Swirls. Strawberry, brownie batter, and caramel. Brownie batter with that chocolate base is my favorite. Charlie, your favorite?
The strawberry Pop-Tart with the vanilla base.
Yes.
Strawberry shortcake.
That's the Frosty Fusion he's talking about. We have the Oreo brownie, the caramel crunch, and the Pop-Tart strawberry. That caramel crunch has pieces of toffee in it. So clock in for sweet treat time with Wendy's all new Frosty flavors. A refresh on a classic. Gotta be Wendy's. Pretty sure I will be stopping there to get me a Frosty Fusion tonight because it has been too long for yours truly. So we'll definitely do that. Coming up now is Charlie's segment.
1, 2, 3. What sound clips will Chicago Charlie pick today for Sparky? Will Sparky become enraged? Will laughter ensue? It's time for Charlie's Sound of the Day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's on the Fan.
All right, time to get to Charlie's Sounds of the Day. Now, again, this is going to continue with our Brewers theme today. We still have a segment where 2 segments, maybe where it's not going to be Brewers. Joe Bartel, RotoWire Fantasy Sports, Fantasy Football Fridays at 4:20. 4:40, follow the money segment with Austin Herdenia. That's coming up at 4:40 with the Potawatomi Sportsbook. So looking forward to that. We started that segment last week, and it was very well received. So we're going to do that every Friday. Normally they're football Fridays. A little bit different today because we got baseball, whatever else. But every Friday, you're definitely want to hear that. Because, again, if you are a rookie or you're somebody that's not as knowledgeable in the gambling market, whatever else, you're going to find out who everybody that is knowledgeable, where they're putting their money and what makes the most sense. And if you want to ride with the favorites and ride with where all the money is being bet, you'll find out who that is at that point. All right, Charlie, sounds of the day. What say you, Charlie? What's clip 1?
All right, we're going to start off heading over to Brandon Woodruff, where I think I kind of want to stick with. He had a lot of great stuff talking about his injury here and how he's processing it. This first clip here is him discussing the news and, again, how he's processing that news.
Bad timing, for kind of how it went down. Just getting to this point and being able to, like my main goal was to be, healthy at the end of the year and pitch in the playoffs and do the whole thing. Initially, it was a bummer for sure. Got right on top of it. When got checked out. It's a last train. So, just got to let it heal and it's literally a day by day thing. And, as far as the rest of the way, not really counting anything out. I just got to come in and go day to day and see where, we're at. But obviously too soon for the divisional series.
It's hard not to feel bad, man. It really is. Murphy's talks about how it's probably too early to even think he'll be the NLCS ready. So what we're talking about here for Woodruff is probably World Series. It's feel horrible. I mean, dude was out for like 2 years, comes back, pitching really well, looking like old Brandon Woodruff here down the stretch. And then this. And now he may miss the entire postseason. And on top of that, he's going to go into free agency because they're not picking up $20 million on this dude. So now what does that mean for Woodruff? Does it hurt his value? Does it hurt his value enough to where the Brewers can maybe get him on a 2 or 3 year deal and try and lock him in here going forward? I think there's a big gamble if you're Milwaukee to try and pay this cat for 2 or 3 years if he can't stay healthy. It's a big gamble. I think it's a big gamble for anybody. I think what would make more sense is they don't do the option, which I don't think anybody thinks they will, and then you give them a new 2-year deal with the mutual option on the second year again, just like you just did, and give them 1 more year to try and get it through again, and hopefully extend this window of World Series contender because the position players are all back next year. So roster is going to be the same from a position player standpoint. Pitching wise, most of the pitchers are probably back. Bullpen will probably change. Bullpens always change year to year. But starting pitching wise, it's going to be a lot of the same guys that'll probably be in the rotation. So it would be a big damn deal if they could have a healthy Woodruff to start in April for this Brewers team and go throughout the year. So we'll see what happens. All right, what's next?
All right, next up, this is Brandon Woodruff discussing how he balances wanting to come back this postseason with protecting his future, kind of what you're talking about, trying to find a contract somewhere else.
We'll just have to cross that bridge when we get there. As far as right now, like I'm focused on going in and just taking care of myself, getting my treatment, doing all the necessary things I need to do to try to give myself a chance. But it's like I love pitching in the playoffs, and fortunately, we've gotten to do it a lot here over the last 8-9 years, and been a part of essentially every series besides the last 23 and the last 3 years now, or 2 years, and that's a bummer for me because I love pitching in these type of games, and obviously with the Cubs coming into town, this is probably one of the biggest, and it's going to be a ton of fun. And as far as that part of it sucks, but you can't tell when these things are going to pop up. So, but yeah, as I'm doing everything I can to kind of ride this thing and see what happens here.
The mental part of this is so difficult, man. It's so difficult because the grind to get through it. And he talked back when he came back from the last injury, how tough that was. There were days where he was just mad at the world, right? It's so tough to fight through that. You work your way all the way back and boom, right? When you're trying to get to the pinnacle of where you want it to be, the goal, door slammed in your face and you don't reach it. Stinks. And then trying to keep your focus through the rehab process and trying to get yourself back right again and trying to keep a positive mentality. Very difficult. And you need the support staff of players, coaches, family, friends to keep you up and going in the right direction so you don't spiral mentally into the abyss of, feeling sorry for yourself at that point.
Which I think he's in probably the best organization for him to do that and to keep himself propped up. And he knows that. He's had to have gone through this so many times. Christian Yelich has gone through this. Devin Williams has had his injury problems, and he was able to be propped up by this Brewers organization. I think these are things that these guys should really value. And when you talk about a contract moving forward for Brandon Woodruff, that's something he is going to value because he has been injured so much, and he cares that this program has been able to help him stay afloat and come back and still be the player that he was, even going back into injury now again.
All right, clip 3.
And last up here, we're going to delve into what we're going to hear from next segment in Mark Atanasio and Matt Arnold. This is the owner, Mark A., on the financial impact of the postseason for a team like the Milwaukee Brewers.
I think the financial impact, the deeper you get in the postseason, the better you do. There's a real financial reward for getting to the World Series, just the way the math works with not only ticketing, but media. And, from our standpoint, we're 100% focused on winning just for the sake of winning, something that, everybody's completely dedicated to. I'm really proud that in 21 seasons, we have 9 playoff appearances. We got to get to the World Series, and that's everybody's focus. But we're winning for the banner, for the ring, not for the financial.
I wish so badly somebody could work with him on how to deal with people. I'm sure he's a nice guy, man. I really do. But again, like, you listen to him and you're like, do you not understand how this works PR wise? Like, he must not get it. Like, just 20 years, still don't understand. No, it's not about the money. We're trying to win this thing for Milwaukee. We're winning this thing for the name on the jersey. And it's bigger than Milwaukee. It's the whole state of Wisconsin that supports this team. We're trying to win for all of them. And obviously for the guys in the locker room and ourselves too. I get that. But this is a huge deal to everybody around the state. They've been through so much. We want to win this for everybody. We want to have a party and a parade like nobody's ever seen. That's why we're in this. This is what we're trying to get done. And we will get this done while I'm owner at some point, whether it's this year or another year. Drop mic, walk off, game over. Everybody loves Mark Antonaccio from here to the end of time. Instead, I get, well, we want to win for the sake of winning. And, getting to the World Series. I'm proud of 9 years of getting to the playoffs in 21 years. Oh, my God. Somebody wake me up when he's done talking. It's just, wake up. Come on. Let's go. Here we go. Prize Picks is the best way to win the cash in on the Packers this football season, which players are going off, which ones are overhyped. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds. Turn your takes into cash all season long on Prize Picks. They have a bunch of cool things, right? You can follow other Prize Pick players directly on the app and copy their lineups in one click. So you can follow Charlie on Prize Picks and then just copy his lineup and roll to the fortunes with him. Whether it's a friend, a celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you like, hit the follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on Prize Picks. Very cool. We've talked about the stacking, and I'm telling you, I love it. Because if you find a player that does well for you in daily fantasy, when you're doing more or less 2 or more player stat projections, like you do with Prize Picks, you can just ride that hot guy every week with 2 or 3 things, put him with one other player, and away you go. I'm telling you, stacking is awesome, especially if you have somebody that you believe in. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code Sparky to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineups. That's code Sparky, SPARKY, to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details. Again, if you use code Sparky, you spend $5, they give you $50. If you do $5 lineups, that means you can do 11 $5 lineups for $5. Man, why wouldn't you use promo code Sparky when you download Prize Picks? Even if you've never done it before. For $5, you could make some good money, possibly if you know what you're doing with Prize Picks. Even if you don't, you could get lucky enough and hit a couple of big ones, Charlie.
There's not many other places that I've found that somebody like me who doesn't know what they're doing can win money like that. It's the easiest place to do it.
Do it. Coming up next, we'll hear from Matt Arnold. That's the one I've been waiting to hear from. And Mark Antonaccio. They're both at the podium at the same time.
They were together, yep.
All right, so we'll see what that sounds like coming up next. Plus, Fantasy Football Friday with Joe Bartel at 4:20. Follow the money with Austin Herdenia from the Potawatomi Sportsbook, the manager over there. He'll join us coming up at 4:40. That's all straight ahead. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Steve Sparky Fifer with you.